This is one of those questions that if I ask you, I already know the answer.
Okay.
Could you go on living without your cell phone and without all of your social media sites?
Okay, social media sites, yes. Cell phone,
I don't know. You're wedded to that Twitter.
I do like Twitter, but I could live without it. We were talking about shutting down and totally disconnecting yourself from the internet and the whole smartphone world. That's it, the smartphone world, Jeff. That's what gets me. And one man did it, and he's alive, well?
He did. He's doing well. You said that you could do it?
She could avoid the social media
Social media,
sites.
but not cell phone.
I could live. This is life or death.
You could go a day without it.
Well, just think back to your youth. Think back to your teens.
Right.
We had pagers then.
Exactly.
And there was a time before that where we had nothing. And you have to ask yourself, were you happier then or are you happier now being connected? You know, there are actually people on YouTube who upload videos of themselves as they try to purge themselves from cell phone and social media, and they talk about how it impacts their life, for better or worse.
So many things went into it. I could tell the difference in yoga class, that I was less chaotic or fast-paced, and I was more present when I was in yoga than when I had turned the phone back on.
I just feel so disconnected from the world of social media. I mean, is anyone there? Can anyone hear me?
So dramatic. I feel like that'd be Kiba if she was recording her own video about her life without a cell phone.
Is anybody there?
Well, this is the guy, Ben Brass McKee, a 25-year-old tutor in the midst of applying to graduate programs in philosophy. He decided to ditch his cell phone altogether back in August 2009, right before his trip to India. He has not had a cell phone since, so we're going on 4 years now. He also doesn't have a Facebook, Twitter, or any other forms of social media. He says, quote, "The reason is just that I don't really find any appeal to cell phones. I felt averted to the idea of creating a digital identity to publish online. I'm not some digital profile. I don't know why I would want to be receiving tweets or what have you. I don't like spending too much time transfixed by a screen. It feels like life is passing me by." He says that he uses a landline sometimes, but just once or twice a month. And he says, "I'm not opposed to having a cell phone again one day. I'm opposed to the abuse and overuse of phones." And I can completely see that. How many times have I complained about trying to have a conversation with somebody and they're just tied to their cell phone, or the lack of human interaction that our society has become accustomed to, and how it impacts our youth in job interviews with social interactions. It's a major issue. The question, you know, can I live without it? I don't know. I rely on Google Maps to get around Sacramento. Even though I've been here over 2 years, I still have trouble. Emergencies, keeping in contact with family, it's very important to have. This guy who did this, he said the worst thing is other people assuming that I'm judgmental of them for their lifestyle.
Right. Well, because of stories like the one that you're doing now, Jeff, and things that I've read, I've tried to make a point. If I'm out at dinner, I keep it in my purse. If I'm having a conversation, I'm not going to be, because I find it rude when it happens to me. And I'm like, can you put that away for a second?
Yeah.
So I try to be more conscious, but I don't honestly want to live without it.
Well, you've got to ask yourself if it's having a subconscious effect on you when you're constantly looking at tweets and updates from news organizations. If it's scrambling your brain and stressing you out, it might be attributed to that.
Right.
And if you disconnect yourself for a weekend and go to the mountains or go to Tahoe and just get away from it, you might feel completely relieved.
You might, but then when you come home Sunday night, you're very anxious because it's like, oh my gosh, how many emails are they going to be? You know,
it's hard for us, you're right.
And when you talked about were you happier when you didn't have it, the point I would make is it's the new normal now.
Right.
This is the new normal. You are connected.
That's a great point.
Right.
That's the point, Jeff. This is our life now.
Well, and you've seen those ads with the watch, the smartphone attached to the watch, and the Google Glass. We're only becoming more integrated with technology and less sociable, and I think it's a problem.
All right.
You have gotten better, by the way.
Thank you.
You have. We have noticed. Really, she has.
Thank you,
no,
Jeff.
It's true. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sure.